Welcome back, Lincoln currency. In the vast world of coin collecting, few things capture the imagination like the allure of an ordinary coin suddenly being worth a fortune. And among these modern marvels of money, the 2018 1-cent coin, the Lincoln Shield cent, holds a surprising place. At first glance, it's a simple, copper-colored penny, just like the billions you've probably seen or even thrown into a jar. But beneath its small size lies a story of history, design, economics, rarity, and hidden value that stretches far beyond what anyone might expect. It's more than just a coin, it's a symbol of a nation, a piece of evolving design language, and for a select few coins, a key to unlocking hidden wealth. So sit back and listen closely, because the 2018 penny may not just be pocket change, it could be a $10 million surprise. It starts with the basics. This 2018 penny is officially called the Lincoln Shield cent. It was minted by the United States Mint in 3 primary facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia issues carried no mint mark. Denver coins bore the classic D mint mark to the right of the date. And San Francisco, known mostly for proof coins, minted the rare S mint mark variety. Each mint struck millions, even billions, of coins. The Philadelphia Mint alone struck over 4 billion of them in 2018. Denver was not far behind, producing roughly 3.7 billion. The San Francisco Mint, however, produced a tiny fraction of that, just over 1 million proof coins. From a purely numerical standpoint, that means there are literally billions of 2018 pennies in existence. But not all are created equal. The coin itself is modest in its physical characteristics. It weighs exactly 2.5 grams, a mere feather by modern coinage standards, and is made of copper-plated zinc, with a composition of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper. That shiny reddish finish, that bright color you see when the penny is fresh out of the roll, is actually an ultra-thin coating of copper. Underneath, it's mostly a soft gray metal, zinc. This is important. That design change happened in 1982 when copper prices surged and the mint decided it was simply too expensive to keep making full copper pennies. And so, since then, we've had what collectors call zinkins, modern pennies with a copper surface but a zinc sole. These coins are cheap to make, but ironically, each one still costs more to produce than its face value. That's right. The government actually loses money with every penny it mints. Let's look closer at the design. On the obverse, you'll find Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, facing to the right. This portrait was designed by Victor David Brenner and first appeared on the penny in 1909, over a century ago, to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday. It was the first time in American history that a real person's face appeared on a regular circulating U.S. coin. Above Lincoln's head reads the national motto, "In God We Trust." To the left, the word Liberty. And to the right, the year, 2018. If it's from the Denver Mint, you'll also see the small D mint mark tucked just under the date. San Francisco proofs carry the S, though those were never meant for circulation and are struck with a high-quality finish for collectors. But it's the reverse of the coin where things get interesting. Starting in 2010, the U.S. Mint replaced the Lincoln Memorial design with a powerful new image, the Union Shield. This bold design features a wide shield with 13 vertical stripes representing the original colonies, bound together under a single horizontal bar at the top, symbolizing unity. Across the shield reads the Latin phrase, E pluribus unum, which means, out of many, one. This is the United States' traditional motto, and it reinforces the message of national unity. Below the shield, on a flowing ribbon, is the denomination, 1 cent. And curving around the top of the coin is the country name, United States of America. This design was created by artist Lindo Bass and sculpted by U.S. Mint engraver Joseph Mena. It was chosen to symbolize President Lincoln's role in preserving the Union during the Civil War, literally holding the country together with his leadership. Now, here's where things get fascinating. Most 2018 pennies are worth just that, 1 cent. But there are exceptions. Some rare coins from this year, under very specific conditions, have sold for hundreds, thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. In one astonishing case, a pristine, uncirculated 2018 penny with a rare error and a nearly perfect grade sold for close to $10,000 at auction. Another specimen, nearly flawless and labeled MS69RD, meaning it was graded as mint state 69 with full red luster, sold for over $5,000. And then there are rumors, reports, and listings online of error coins or ultra-rare strikes allegedly valued at millions, even as high as $10 million. That may sound unbelievable, but in the world of numismatics, strange things happen. A single mistake at the mint, the wrong planchet, a double die, a mule error, an off-center strike, or a unique variation, can send a coin's value skyrocketing. So what makes some 2018 pennies worth a fortune? First, condition. A coin graded MS68, MS69, or the Holy Grail MS70, which is perfect in every way, is vastly more valuable than a coin that's been sitting in a change jar. Grading is done by services like PCGS and NGC, and it's an exacting science. Coins are judged based on luster, strike quality, surface condition, and eye appeal. Even the tiniest nick or discoloration can drop a coin from top tier to average. Second, errors. Some coins from 2018 have been discovered with dramatic minting errors, double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, misaligned dies, and even coins struck on the wrong metal blanks. These minting errors are like unicorns, rare, random, and extremely sought after. If you find a 2018 penny with a strange appearance, doubling in the letters or numbers, or anything unusual, don't spend it. It could be a gold mine. The third and most mysterious factor in coin value? Provenance and hype. If a coin gains attention in the media, or a major collector deems it unique, its value can jump dramatically. Some coins are sold in private auctions where collectors with deep pockets will spend outrageous amounts for bragging rights, for the thrill of owning something no one else has, or for investment purposes. There are currently listings and rumors in the collector world of certain ultra-rare 2018 pennies that could be worth, or are being offered for, as much as $10 million. Are they real? That's where things get murky. Until they're publicly verified, these stories remain in the realm of speculation. But that speculation fuels curiosity, and curiosity drives interest. So now you're wondering, how do I know if I have a valuable 2018 penny? It starts with a close inspection. Look for sharp detail, full luster, and no signs of wear, especially if the coin looks unusually shiny or untouched. If you suspect it's a high-grade specimen, consider submitting it to a professional coin grading service. If you spot something odd, a doubled letter, missing detail, strange coloration, or a coin that just looks off, you might have an error coin. And remember, rarity doesn't just mean quantity. It means demand. A billion coins may exist, but if only a handful survive in gem condition, those few can be worth a fortune. And there's more to this story. Much more. Because the penny, even in 2018, is not just a coin. It's a political symbol. It's an economic puzzle. It's a historical relic. It's a battleground between tradition and efficiency. There are ongoing debates in Congress about eliminating the penny altogether, pointing to its low utility and high production costs. Some argue it's wasteful, that rounding prices would save the economy millions. Others believe that removing the penny would disproportionately affect lower-income individuals who rely more on cash transactions. Still others see it as a nostalgic piece of Americana that deserves to live on, regardless of cost. Because the real story of the 2018 penny isn't just what you see on the surface. It's what lies underneath, in the history, the minting process, the accidents, and the market behaviors that turn an ordinary cent into an object of desire. When you understand how a simple coin can leap from a value of 1 cent to potentially $10 million, you begin to see that numismatics, the study and collecting of coins, isn't just a hobby. It's an art. It's a science. And sometimes, it's a treasure hunt with enormous rewards. To begin, let's go back in time just a bit, because every detail about the 2018 penny has its roots in over a century of coinage evolution. Abraham Lincoln was first placed on the U.S. 1-cent coin in 1909, replacing the Indian head design. This was the first time a real human being, a president no less, had appeared on a circulating U.S. coin. Before that, all U.S. coins featured allegorical representations like liberty, never real people. So when the Lincoln cent debuted, it marked a bold shift in American numismatic tradition. The man behind the portrait, Victor David Brenner, engraved his initials, VDB, boldly at the base of the reverse design, which in its first version featured 2 stalks of wheat. This is where the famous wheat penny began, and it's where the legend of the Lincoln cent was born. But not everyone approved of Brenner's initials being so prominently displayed. Just weeks after release, a public backlash led to their removal. The U.S. Mint quickly revised the coin, stripping the initials until 1918 when they were quietly added back, this time hidden in Lincoln's shoulder. These tiny details are what collectors obsess over. And those early VDB pennies? They're now worth thousands. Which leads us to the pattern: coins, especially pennies, can become valuable not simply because of metal content or age, but because of mistakes, changes, and history. That same pattern applies to 2018, a year seemingly ordinary in mintage but filled with potential anomalies. Fast forward to today, and the 2018 Lincoln cent follows in this legacy, but with its own unique flavor. The Union Shield reverse was introduced in 2010, and by 2018, it had already been in circulation for nearly a decade. Yet each year brings new minting runs, new batches, new possibilities for slight variations and errors. These variations, some intentional, others purely accidental, are what spark intense interest from collectors. Think about it: out of the billions of coins struck in 2018, it only takes a handful with off-center strikes, double dies, missing layers, or planchet anomalies to trigger a rush. When one of those coins makes headlines, everyone starts checking their pocket change. In the case of the 2018 penny, some of the most valuable specimens are those graded MS68RD or MS69RD. MS, short for mint state, means the coin has never been used in circulation. The numbers indicate the coin's quality on a scale from 1 to 70. A 70 is absolute perfection, no flaws, no marks, no scratches, under 5x magnification. Only a handful of coins, across all denominations and years, ever reach this level. That's what makes them so valuable. Imagine finding a 2018 cent in your pocket that somehow, against all odds, is in pristine MS69 condition. That tiny piece of metal could be worth more than your car. In rare cases, with the right buyer and the right hype, it could fetch tens of thousands, or more. But that's not the only path to value. Error coins, those fascinating little mistakes, often turn up where you least expect them. Coins with double die obverse, where the inscriptions appear to be shadowed or duplicated. Coins struck slightly off-center, where part of the design is missing. Coins struck on foreign planchets, or missing their outer copper layer, showing the zinc core exposed like a gray ghost version of the original. Some 2018 cents were discovered with what's called a split planchet, where the coin literally peeled in layers like an onion. Others had extreme die clashes, or even retained grease errors, where the strike failed to fill in all the design elements. Each of these is rare. Each can elevate a penny from spare change to collector's trophy. One particular example reportedly surfaced in 2020, a 2018 cent struck on a dime planchet. That means instead of a copper-colored penny, it appeared silver-colored and weighed differently. Because it was struck with the Lincoln cent dies on a blank meant for a 10-cent coin, the result was bizarre and brilliant. Off-metal strikes like this are extremely valuable, especially when certified authentic by a top grading company. The value? At auction, a coin like that could go for $5,000, $10,000, even more depending on demand. And who knows how many more might exist, undiscovered, still clinking inside a change drawer or vending machine. Coin return. Then there's the San Francisco proof coin. These coins are not meant for everyday spending. They're struck with specially polished dies, under higher pressure, often multiple times, to bring out incredible detail and mirror-like finishes. They're sold directly to collectors, not distributed through banks or stores. In 2018, the San Francisco Mint produced just over 1 million of these proof coins. Compared to the billions from Philadelphia and Denver, that's a speck in the ocean. Most of these were bought and stored by collectors, but now and then, one ends up in circulation by accident or estate sale. These coins, especially if still sealed in original mint packaging or graded PR70 deep cameo, can command high premiums. It's important to understand that coin value is not fixed. It shifts constantly, like a stock. Market trends, collector interest, media buzz, and auction activity all play a role. For example, let's say a major numismatic YouTube channel showcases a rare 2018-era coin and the video goes viral. Suddenly, everyone's looking for that coin. Prices shoot up. Dealers start getting calls. eBay listings appear overnight with exaggerated values. That surge of interest might only last a few weeks, or it might reshape the value chart permanently. This is the collector's economy, emotional, speculative, and sometimes explosive. And within that world, a humble penny can become a multi-million-dollar headline. And let's talk about the number everyone wants to know, $10 million. Is there really a 2018 penny worth that much? The short answer is, maybe. The long answer is more complicated. There have been unconfirmed reports, whispered rumors in collector circles, and speculative listings claiming that a one-of-a-kind 2018 penny with an ultra-rare error or perfect MS-70 condition has been appraised or offered at values near or above $10 million. Without public documentation, it's impossible to verify. But the fact that such claims exist at all speaks volumes. Because in numismatics, uniqueness and provenance create value. If a coin exists that is provably one of one, for example, a 2018 cent with an unheard-of minting anomaly, then yes, it could reach astronomical figures at auction. The collectors who chase these coins often have deep pockets. Some are investors looking for long-term appreciation. Others are just passionate numismatists driven by obsession. For them, money is no object. Owning the rarest known Lincoln cent of a modern era, a modern miracle, is worth the price. These are the kinds of people who fuel the high-end market. And their involvement has led to incredible prices even for modern coins. Don't think that just because a coin is recent that it's not valuable. Quite the opposite. Sometimes, modern coins in top condition are far rarer than vintage coins that were saved in bulk. Very few people save pocket change from 2018 in gem condition. But millions of people saved wheat cents and silver coins decades ago. Rarity today doesn't always mean age. It means survival. So the next time you get change back from a purchase, whether it's at the grocery store, gas station, or your morning coffee shop, don't be so quick to toss that penny in a tip jar or coin tray. Pull it out. Take a look. Check the date. If you see 2018, look closer. Is it unusually shiny? Does it have any odd marks? Is something off about the lettering or numbers? You might be holding something extraordinary. You might be holding a 2.5-gram ticket to numismatic stardom. Because while billions of 2018 pennies are out there, the rare few that slip through the cracks, the mistakes, the pristine, the unique, those are the ones that can redefine what a penny is worth. Because in the grand world of coins, not everything is measured by weight or metal. Sometimes, value is determined by mystery, by accident, by a story no one expected. The 2018 Lincoln cent, a coin so common it's practically invisible, can in rare instances become something extraordinary. But to truly appreciate how this happens, we need to go even deeper into the journey of the coin itself, from the moment the metal is prepared, to the instant it's struck by high-pressure dies, and finally when it enters the pockets of millions, each one unknowingly holding history. Let's go behind the scenes into the U.S. Mint. The process of making a penny starts not with copper or zinc, but with rolls of blank metal sheets. These sheets are punched to create small discs known as blanks, which are then processed and upset into planchets, a process that slightly raises their rims. The next step is striking. The dies, carefully crafted metal molds, smash down on the planchets with immense force, creating the design on both sides of the coins simultaneously. Most coins come out perfectly, but when the pressure is off, or when dies are misaligned, or when a wrong planchet gets mixed in, that's when magic happens. Mint errors. The holy grail for collectors. These minting errors are like fingerprints. They're unique, and they can't be duplicated. That's why they carry such immense value. A double die error on a 2018 penny, for instance, where Lincoln's face or the shield appears ghosted or shifted, isn't just an oddity, it's a once-in-a-generation find. An off-metal strike, where a penny is accidentally made on a dime's silver-colored planchet, is an example of how chaos in the minting room creates million-dollar potential. If you find one of these, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding a mistake that wasn't supposed to exist. And when something exists that wasn't meant to, collectors will pay anything for it. Even more fascinating are the so-called mule errors. These happen when two dies from different coins are mismatched, such as a penny obverse struck with the reverse of a dime. While none are confirmed from 2018 as of now, the mere possibility of one surfacing is enough to keep collectors checking, inspecting, hoping. Just one confirmed 2018 mule cent would change everything. Auction houses would scramble. The internet would light up. YouTube videos would trend. And the coin market? It would explode with excitement. But rarity alone isn't enough. Condition is king. And that's where grading comes in. If you have a 2018 penny that looks fresh and flawless, your next step isn't spending it, it's submitting it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These institutions assign a grade to your coin based on strike quality, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal. The highest grades, MS68, MS69, MS70, are the dream. Even a 1-point difference in grade can multiply a coin's value several times over. For example, a 2018 Denver Mint penny graded MS67RD might sell for $10. But bump that to MS69RD and you could be talking thousands. These numbers matter more than most people realize. Now let's pause for a moment and talk about perception. To the average person, a penny is nearly worthless. It's the coin that clutters drawers, slips under car seats, and ends up forgotten at the bottom of a washing machine. But to a collector, a single penny can hold the same weight as a bar of gold, because it's not about what the coin is made of. It's about what the coin represents. A perfect 2018 penny, gleaming red, untouched by circulation, is not just rare. It's nearly impossible. Billions of these coins were made. But most were instantly used, spent, dropped, scratched, and lost. Finding one in gem condition is like finding a fresh leaf preserved in amber. It's a moment frozen in time, and the market responds to that rarity with real money. There are currently 2018 pennies listed online for prices ranging from $1 to $10,000 or more. Some are being offered with error certifications, others with high grades, and some simply based on hype. Is every one of them worth that? Not necessarily. But all it takes is one serious collector, one bidding war, one story going viral, and suddenly what was just a hopeful listing becomes a confirmed sale. This is how the legend grows. A few sales at eye-popping prices raise awareness. People rush to their coin jars. Dealers start buying in bulk. The value spikes. And the cycle repeats. Now, consider the impact of timing. Coins often rise in value not only because of condition and rarity, but because of attention. The 2018 penny is still relatively recent. Most people haven't paid it much attention yet. But that's changing. As the years pass and the memories of its mintage fade, attention returns. Collectors begin assembling year sets. Errors begin to surface. High-grade examples become scarcer as more are spent or damaged. And then demand rises. What was worth $1 last year might be worth $100 next year. Time, like pressure, forges value. Then there's the speculative world of modern rarities. You may have heard of coins like the 1955 double-die penny, the 1943 copper cent, or the 2000 Cheerios Sacagawea dollar. All of these were common coins that became world famous because of rare versions or promotional oddities. The 2018 penny could very well join that list, especially if a previously undiscovered error comes to light. All it takes is one verified minting mistake, one proof struck on the wrong planchet, one press misfire, and the coin instantly becomes legendary. It enters the elite club of coins that collectors will chase forever, and if that happens, the market will adjust quickly. Coin dealers will reevaluate their stocks. Grading companies will start seeing a rush of submissions. Investors will take interest, looking to corner the market on high-grade examples. And yes, auction prices could surge into the millions. Some people will call it speculation. Others will call it madness. But in the end, it's no different than any other collectible. The value of art, wine, baseball cards, or NFTs, they all come from rarity, beauty, story, and demand. Coins are no different. And the 2018 penny? It has all four. The beauty is subtle but undeniable. The deep red luster of a fresh copper strike. The bold relief of Lincoln's portrait. The powerful symbolism of the Union Shield. The story is one of heritage, of design changes over a century, of economic pressures and modern minting technology. And the rarity? That's evolving right now. Every time a high-grade 2018 penny is found and submitted, the population grows. But the bar for value also rises. The top examples remain rare. And that's where demand concentrates. The finest known coins will always be the most valuable, because even among billions, only a few can be best. So the question isn't just, is the 2018 penny worth $10 million? The better question is, what if it is, and no one's noticed yet? What if the next great coin treasure is already in someone's possession, sitting in a drawer, tossed in a change jar, or taped inside a child's coin folder from a school project? What if the next great auction headline, 2018 Lincoln Cent sells for record-breaking $10 million, starts with someone just like you, someone watching this video, someone who takes a moment to look closer? That possibility is real. It's happened before. And it will happen again. You don't need to be a numismatist. You don't need to be a millionaire. You just need curiosity, patience, a good eye, and the understanding that in the smallest, most overlooked things, like a penny, there can exist a mystery worth millions. Because what we're really talking about when we discuss coins like the 2018 penny isn't just value in dollars, it's value in discovery. It's the thrill of unlocking something hidden in plain sight. It's the quiet excitement of realizing that the smallest, most ordinary-looking object in your pocket might carry with it a forgotten story, a historic error, or a design anomaly so rare that it transforms the coin into a national treasure. Every collector knows this feeling. Every enthusiast lives for the moment when they turn over a coin, spot the unexpected, and feel that flicker of possibility. Could this be it? Could this be the one? And the beauty of the 2018 penny story is that it's still being written. Every year, new varieties are discovered. New errors come to light. Coins submitted to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC return with surprising results. Someone who thought they had a nice uncirculated penny suddenly holds the finest known example. And when a coin is the finest known, when it's the top population in its category, it becomes the coin every serious collector wants to own. And they will pay handsomely for the privilege. Collectors track population reports like hawks. These reports are maintained by grading services and show how many coins have been certified at each grade level. If there are 10 coins graded MS68RD, but only one graded MS69RD, that single coin becomes incredibly desirable. Not just for its beauty, but because of its exclusivity. And exclusivity drives price. Some of these 2018 cents, in flawless condition, are selling for 4 figures right now. Others might go for more if demand rises. And then there's the possibility, still unconfirmed but very real, that somewhere out there, a perfect MS70 exists. A 2018 penny struck so perfectly, preserved so flawlessly, it reaches the absolute top of the grading scale. If such a coin exists and is certified, it would instantly become a cornerstone piece. And it wouldn't just be worth thousands. It could break records, and that's not even touching on the hidden world of die varieties. These are small, often microscopic differences between coins caused by variations in the dies used to strike them. A repunched mint mark. A doubled eyelid on Lincoln. A tiny die chip forming what collectors call a spiked head, or an extra metal blob on a letter or number. These varieties often go unnoticed by the general public. But to those who study every detail, these are golden opportunities. Some die varieties are only known by a few examples, while others are yet to be discovered. Every time a new one is found, it's named, cataloged, and instantly becomes part of coin lore. The 2018 cent is still yum. That means the search is ongoing. And it means that you could be the first to spot a new variety no one has ever recorded. Let's also not forget about the San Francisco proofs. Those gleaming, mirror surface specimens struck not once but multiple times under high pressure with polished dies. These coins are more than beautiful, they're technical masterpieces. They show off every detail of the design in stark clarity. But even among proofs, there can be errors. Some proof coins are struck with die polishing lines, missing frosting on certain elements, or have microscopic defects that make them stand out. Sometimes entire batches are affected. Other times, it's just one or two coins. If a 2018 S-proof penny contains an error or unique die trait, its value skyrockets. Especially if it's graded PR70 deep cameo, proof perfection. There's a term collectors use when a coin is better than the rest, when its surfaces are pristine, its strike is sharp, and its luster is full. That term is superb gem. A superb gem 2018 penny isn't just a collector's item, it's a conversation piece. It's a showpiece in a personal collection. It's something you might never spend, never trade, and never part with. Because once you've found one, you're part of a very small group of people who hold one of the best examples of a coin type that most people overlook every day. That knowledge? That feeling? It's priceless. And then there's the speculative market, the wave of buzz that follows every big coin story. Every time a rare coin is sold at auction for an enormous sum, it sets off ripples. Suddenly, there's a rush of interest. Coin forums light up. Social media buzzes. YouTube channels feature the coin in detailed breakdowns. People start searching. Dealers scramble to acquire inventory. Prices shift overnight. And if that rare coin happens to be a 2018 penny? If someone uncovers a massive mint error, or a new variety, or a single flawless example that's confirmed as a unique MS-70RD? That one event could elevate the entire class of 2018 cents into the spotlight. In fact, it's already happening. Several major coin listing sites feature 2018 pennies for sale at hundreds, even thousands of dollars, sometimes for rare error coins, sometimes for high-graded examples. And while not every listing sells, some do. And with each sale, the baseline expectation rises. Coins that were once dismissed as too recent to be valuable are now commanding serious attention. And this is only the beginning. You see, the collector market is fluid. It's shaped by attention, by scarcity, by excitement. And it's also shaped by education. The more people learn about a coin, its errors, varieties, history, grading, the more likely they are to seek it out. And when they do, the demand grows. Right now, the 2018 penny is still flying under the radar for many. But as more information becomes available, as new errors are discovered, and as more high-grade examples make headlines, that will change. It always does. And if history is any indication, coins like the 2018 cent that begin as underappreciated sleepers often become key collectibles down the line. Look at the 1992 closed AM penny. Or the 1983 double die reverse. Both were once just modern cents. Today, they sell for thousands. Why? Because someone spotted the difference. Someone noticed the detail. Someone asked, "What if?" That's the spirit that drives numismatics forward. And it's the spirit you need if you're searching for that once-in-a-lifetime coin. Because it's not just about the odds, it's about persistence. It's about knowledge. It's about taking a moment to really look. Because when you do, you'll start to see what others miss. The slight shift in the shield. The doubling in the motto. The thickness of the date. The color, the luster, the feel of something that isn't like the rest. And that's what makes the hunt so addicting. Every coin you find, every 2018 cent you inspect, could be the one. Maybe it's just a nice example. Maybe it's high grade. Or maybe, just maybe, it's a one-of-a-kind coin, $1 million error, a national headline waiting to be written. No one knows for sure. But what we do know is that it's possible. The 2018 penny proves it. Because even among billions of coins, there are secrets. And sometimes, the smallest treasure holds the biggest mystery. Because in every collection, whether it's a drawer full of pocket change or a climate-controlled vault with certified rarities, there's one underlying question that fuels the passion: what if I have something no one else does? That's the question collectors ask themselves again and again. And it's what makes the 2018 penny more than just a copper-plated disc. It's a canvas for possibility. A mirror reflecting back the infinite small variations that can occur in a modern minting process. And with those variations, the birth of value. The kind of value that doesn't come from metal content but from uniqueness, provenance, mystery. We've already covered the significance of errors, the power of grading, and the forces behind collector demand. But now let's dive into the underexplored realm of the psychology behind the market. Because the worth of a coin like the 2018 penny doesn't just exist in the realm of facts and figures, it lives in emotion, in desire, in human behavior. Why do collectors chase coins? Why do auctions erupt into bidding wars? Why does a coin that cost 1 cent to make end up being worth millions? The answer lies in stories. Every valuable coin tells a story. Sometimes that story is about a historical event, a printing mistake, a political change. Other times, it's about survival, how a coin remained untouched and flawless for decades while all others were lost to time, circulation, and damage. The 2018 penny story is still being written, but it already carries the potential for all of these narratives. And the people who are writing those stories are collectors like you. Observers. Students of the mint. Hunters of detail. The 2018 cent is not just a coin, it's a modern-day treasure map, and the X that marks the spot is hidden in plain sight. Take, for example, the collectors who focus on transitional errors. These are coins struck during the changeover between two different designs, metals, or production standards. While the 2018 cent doesn't officially belong to a transitional year, the massive scale of its production means there's always room for anomalies. A transitional planchet error, like a 2018 cent struck on a leftover foreign coin blank, or a rare ALA mix-up, would cause a massive stir in the market. And it has happened before. Similar off-metal errors have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. Imagine being the person who finds a 2018 penny that weighs slightly less, or rings slightly different when dropped, and sends it in for analysis, only to find it's made of the wrong metal. That would be a moment of modern numismatic history, and let's not forget the culture of the hobby itself. Coin collecting is no longer just the realm of the elderly or the hyper-specialized. Thanks to social media, YouTube, TikTok, and forums, entire communities of young and passionate collectors have emerged. They share finds. They speculate on upcoming auction values. They educate each other in real time. A single viral post showing a rare 2018 penny variety can send thousands of people digging through jars, boxes, and wallets. This community energy fuels demand and gives life to coins that might otherwise have remained obscure. The 2018 cent also benefits from a perfect storm of factors. First, it was minted in astronomical numbers, over 11 billion across Philadelphia and Denver mints. That sounds like it would dilute rarity, but in reality, it creates more opportunity for anomalies. The more coins struck, the higher the chance of mistakes. Second, it was released during an era of rapid technological improvement at the US Mint, changes to die making, die polishing, and quality control protocols. As systems were updated, unexpected flaws crept in. Some dies were overused. Others weren't perfectly aligned. Some were even repolished in a way that led to faint doubling or ghosting in the design. And then, there's the most elusive quality of all: attention. Coins are like art or antiques. Their value is often determined not by their materials, but by how much attention they receive. Right now, in numismatic circles, attention is starting to shift toward the 2018 cent. Not because of one big discovery, but because of dozens of small ones. Tiny die breaks that collectors call cuds. Split plating on the rim. Doubled lettering in e pluribus unum. Phantom lines across Lincoln's coat. These small findings begin to stack up, creating an environment ripe for a breakout moment, a single high-profile auction, a big grading reveal, or a mainstream news article that brings the coin into the national spotlight. And once the spotlight is on, everything changes. Let's say a high-grade MS69 RD 2018 penny with a dramatic error goes to auction. Let's say it's well marketed, submitted with detailed documentation, and heavily promoted on social platforms. It could easily sell for tens of thousands, perhaps even more, especially if it's a one-of-a-kind. Suddenly, that sale becomes the reference point. Other collectors start comparing their coins to that one. Dealers begin searching inventory. Graders start seeing an influx of 2018 submissions. A coin that once sat forgotten in a desk drawer now sets off a cascade of interest across the country. The value of modern coins is shaped by this pattern. It happened with the 2014 Lincoln cent doubled die obverse. It happened with the 1999 wide AM. It even happened with modern quarters. The 2019 W West Point Quarter Series showed how limited mintage and smart marketing could send demand skyrocketing. And now, it may happen again. With the 2018 penny. Because in this hobby, everything is about timing. Most people don't find a valuable coin because they weren't looking at the right moment. They sold it too soon. They didn't grade it. They didn't know what they had. And that's the opportunity in front of you right now. The 2018 cent is still modern. It's still accessible. You can still find it in circulation, in rolls, in bags, in jars. But that won't last forever. As attention grows, the top examples will be pulled, graded, and hoarded. Errors will be discovered and bought up. The supply will shrink. And the price? That will rise. Slowly at first, then suddenly. So, what should you do if you want to take part in this moment? First, educate yourself. Learn the known errors, the known varieties. Train your eye to spot doubling, die cracks, plating bubbles, and unusual strike patterns. Understand the weight of the coin. Officially it's 2.5 grams, but if you find one heavier or lighter, it could be a sign of an off-metal strike. Use a good digital scale and a magnifier. Second, handle your coins carefully. If you find an uncirculated 2018 cent that looks pristine, don't wipe it, clean it, or toss it back. Place it in a protective flip or capsule and consider getting it professionally graded. And finally, stay connected to the community. Share your finds. Ask questions. Watch the market. Because as strange as it sounds, the 2018 penny may still be waiting to make history. And maybe, just maybe, that history will begin with you. Because once you begin to understand the magnitude of what's behind a simple 1-cent coin, you'll never look at it the same way again. What you hold in your hand isn't just pocket change, it's a piece of a much larger puzzle. A coin doesn't exist in a vacuum. It exists in the context of minting history, in a sea of variations, against the backdrop of what collectors value at any given time. And that context is where the 2018 penny begins to come alive. You see, to most people, a penny is forgettable. It's copper-colored. It's small. It's overlooked. But to a collector, every detail matters. The way Lincoln's coat catches the light, the angle of the lettering on Liberty, the precision of the date, the alignment of the shield, all of it is data. All of it is evidence. Because when something's off, when something deviates from the expected design, that deviation can be everything. Let's talk about one of the most subtle but valuable types of deviations: die rotations. A normal 2018 penny has an upright reverse when the obverse is facing up and the coin is flipped top to bottom. But sometimes, due to mechanical error or improper die alignment, the reverse is rotated. It could be 15 degrees, 45, 90, or even 180 degrees, a dramatic metal alignment that collectors go wild for. The more extreme the rotation, the rarer the coin. Some of these rotated die errors have fetched 4- and 5-figure prices at auction, depending on severity and condition. Imagine checking a pile of pennies, flipping one, and seeing the shield at a strange angle. That little twist in the normal pattern? That's the kind of detail that turns 1 cent into a payday. And then there are struck-through errors, where foreign material like grease, cloth, or even wire gets between the die and the planchet during striking. These errors create fascinating surface impressions. Sometimes it looks like part of Lincoln's face is missing. Other times, the shield is marred or incomplete. These aren't damage, they're mint errors, and depending on how dramatic and clean the error is, they can bring impressive premiums. A well-centered struck-through error on a high-grade 2018 cent could easily command hundreds or thousands of dollars if authenticated and slabbed by a top-grading service. Even die chips, often considered minor errors, can attract a following. There are entire communities of collectors who focus on die chip patterns, giving them names like BIE errors, a die chip between the B and E in Liberty, or spiked heads, where a chip on Lincoln's head resembles a horn or spike. In some rare cases, die chips on the 2018 shield cent appear as blobs on the shield lines or distortions on the scroll bearing E pluribus unum. And while each individual chip might not be worth a fortune, unusual or dramatic formations are catalogued and can become minor celebrities within collecting circles. The first person to identify one and give it a nickname might see that name used in forums and auctions for years to come. But even with all these possibilities, value hinges on condition. That's why the process of coin grading is absolutely vital to understanding the long-term trajectory of coins. Like the 2018 cent grading is where subjective perception meets objective metrics. It's the difference between a coin that might be sold for face value and one that's protected in a plastic slab with a 5-figure price tag. And in the world of modern Lincoln cents, where the design is still sharp and reflective, grading becomes even more exacting. Every scratch, every bag mark, every trace of weak strike or spotting is considered. That's why finding high-grade 2018 cents is not as easy as it sounds. They may be everywhere, but finding one that's flawless? That's rare. And rarity drives demand. Think about this. As of now, there are only a handful of MS69RD 2018 cents certified by PCGS or NGC. No MS70RD has been publicly verified. That means, in theory, the perfect specimen is still out there. Still undiscovered. Perhaps in a sealed mint bag. Perhaps in a hoarder's jar, untouched since 2018. And when that perfect coin is found, it will become the definitive top pop. A trophy. And the bidding will reflect that. Some collectors will want it simply because it's the best. Others because they specialize in registry sets. But no matter who ends up with it, the price will be enormous, not because of metal content, but because of status. Because in coin collecting, being the best is everything, and then there's the speculative future. What happens 10, 20, or 50 years from now? Will the 2018 penny still matter? The answer is yes, because it already matters. It has already entered the catalog of modern coinage. It has already been included in grading sets, discovered with unique varieties, shared in online coin communities. It's part of the numismatic timeline now. And just like other modern coins that were ignored at first, its day will come. The collectors of the future will look back and wish they'd picked one up when it was still in circulation. When they were still cheap. When they were still hiding in plain sight. This is how patterns play out in numismatics. The 1984 double-ear Lincoln cent was once just another coin. Now it sells for hundreds, sometimes more. The 1995 double die cent, ignored by many upon release, is now a staple of any serious modern Lincoln collection. Why? Because rarity plus awareness plus time equals value. And we are still in the early days of the 2018 cents timeline. Which means if you're paying attention now, you're ahead of the curve. But this isn't just about making money. This is about the joy of discovery. About the knowledge that maybe, just maybe, you'll be the one to change the game. Maybe you'll spot the next major doubled die. Maybe you'll submit a coin that becomes the new highest grade. Maybe you'll be the one who finds a unique struck-through cap die 2018 cent with such dramatic features that it ends up on the cover of coin magazines. It happens. Not often, but enough to know it's possible. And possibility is what drives this hobby. It's the fuel that keeps collectors searching roll after roll, coin after coin, night after night. It's what makes this pursuit more than a hobby. It makes it a passion. A lifelong quest. And coins like the 2018 penny, modern and modest as they seem, are part of that fire. They're part of the magic. They're proof that even in the age of digital currency and contactless transactions, there's still value in the tangible. In the real. In the small, detailed, and overlooked. That a single penny, struck in 2018, could one day be worth more than anyone imagined. And that's the fascinating paradox, isn't it? A coin worth just 1 cent, mass-produced, widely circulated, seemingly unremarkable, can capture so much attention, stir so much competition, and eventually trade hands for tens of thousands, or even millions. Not because it contains gold. Not because it was minted in antiquity. But because it means something. Because it represents something. Because it is a piece of the larger story of how humans assign value. And value is never just about materials. It's about emotion. It's about narrative. And no coin embodies that strange magic better than the modern penny, especially the 2018 issue, now slowly transforming from forgotten to legendary. As time goes on, more and more 2018 cents will vanish from circulation. Some will be lost. Others spent and worn down beyond recognition. Many will be melted, rolled into zinc bars, or left corroding in junk drawers for decades. But a select few, those in high grade, with rare variations or dramatic errors, will survive. They'll be encapsulated in slabs, passed between collectors, written about, studied, photographed, and one day auctioned off with fanfare. Every coin that survives in mint state will become exponentially more valuable, simply because others won't make it. That's scarcity. And scarcity is always the first ingredient in numismatic value. Now, imagine you're a collector in the year 2050. You look back at the last few decades of coin production. You see the changes in minting technology, the gradual elimination of the cent due to rising production costs, the limited release special editions. The 2018 penny will stand out as part of a now closed era. An era when the penny was still being made in huge numbers. When the Lincoln Shield reverse was still dominant. When people still ignored these coins and let them accumulate by the thousands. In 2050, the untouched 2018 cents that remain will seem like relics. And as the number of flawless examples decreases, their value will only grow. Not just monetary value, but historical, collector, and even cultural value. And here's another factor to consider: the impact of pop culture and media. It may sound strange, but media attention can transform coins overnight. All it takes is one documentary, one viral TikTok, one feature story on a coin-selling app or mainstream finance outlet. Suddenly, a coin that was obscure becomes hot. Everyone wants one. Prices skyrocket. Grading companies get flooded. And the earliest owners, those who acted before the boom, reap the biggest rewards. This has happened with multiple coins before, and the 2018 cent could easily be next. There are already whispers. YouTubers discussing dramatic errors. TikTok creators showcasing unique varieties. Collectors on Reddit and Discord sharing photos of coins with weird strikes, strange plating, ghosted dates, or doubling so subtle it takes a jeweler's loupe to see. Some of these might be newly discovered classes of errors. Others might be varieties that haven't yet been catalogued. This is the incubation period, the phase before the explosion, when only the most attentive collectors are paying attention. Once the mainstream numismatic world catches on, it's too late to buy low. And don't forget, the coin collecting world doesn't move in isolation. It follows broader economic trends. When inflation rises and traditional investments become uncertain, alternative assets gain appeal. Coins, especially rare, high-grade, or historically significant coins, offer tangible, inflation-resistant value. They're compact, portable, non-digital, and globally understood. And the 2018 penny, especially in its rarest and cleanest forms, stands poised to benefit from this shift. It may be humble, but its value proposition is clear. It's a physical object tied to a minting legacy, with defined characteristics, public auction results, and a growing collector base. Let's also not forget the educational value. The 2018 penny has already been featured in YouTube tutorials, TikTok shorts, online forums, and collector blogs. Why? Because it's accessible. It's a gateway coin. People new to the hobby can learn how to examine coins for flaws, study doubling, weigh coins for planchet irregularities, and understand basic grading, all through a coin they can find and change. That educational exposure drives demand. Every beginner who starts with a 2018 penny may eventually become a serious buyer looking to complete a full variety set. That long-term pipeline of new collectors means increased demand for high-grade and error coins year after year. And then there's the allure of discovery. The knowledge that there are still unknowns in the 2018 mintage. Not every error has been cataloged. Not every double die has been confirmed. There could be dramatic anomalies sitting in bank boxes right now, coins with inverted dies, off-center strikes, even experimental blanks. Some of these coins might never have been seen. Others may have been tossed back into circulation, mistaken for damage, or quietly hoarded by someone who doesn't yet understand what they have. That's the mystery that keeps collectors searching. The chase. The idea that maybe you'll be the first to find a new variety, and name it after yourself. Coin naming is real. The Cheerios dollar. The Wounded Eagle quarter. The Spiked Head Lincoln. These names are born from discovery and passed into collecting folklore. They appear in guides, videos, and grading service listings. The 2018 penny is fertile ground for such legends. Maybe there's a cent out there with a wild die clash showing part of Lincoln's face ghosted onto the shield. Maybe there's one where the 2018 date is doubled with perfect symmetry. Maybe there's a cent with a missing mint mark, or a visible, phantom, one struck in error. Any of these could be the next big find. And the person who finds it first will not only name it, they'll define its value. There's also the geographic factor. The 2018 cent was minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, and collectors often track which mint produces better quality. Historically, Denver strikes are known for slightly stronger impressions, while Philadelphia sometimes shows more variability, leading to a higher chance of minor errors. That means Philadelphia minted coins may be the better hunting ground for rare flaws, while Denver coins may be more likely to hit higher grades due to sharper details. And San Francisco? While the S-Mint 2018 pennies were issued only in proof sets, those coins are even more tightly controlled. But if one ever escaped into general circulation, even by accident, it would instantly become a phenomenon. And so, the layers keep adding up. Layers of detail. Layers of risk and reward. Layers of speculation, evidence, and opportunity. The 2018 penny becomes not just a coin, but a landscape, one that collectors navigate with tools, knowledge, and hope. Because the truth is, coins like this aren't just valuable in the abstract. They become personal. Every collector has a story. A memory of finding a rare coin. Of researching late at night. Of holding a magnifier up to the obverse and realizing that what they're looking at, what they're touching, is history. Is potential. Is money. In a way, it's poetic. The smallest denomination becomes the biggest prize. The coin nobody wanted becomes the centerpiece of a collection. That's the ultimate reversal, and it's already underway. You may not see it yet in headlines or price guides, but if you talk to collectors, if you read the forums, if you watch the videos, you'll feel it. The tide is turning. The 2018 Lincoln Shield cent, once overlooked, is slowly being reappraised, re-examined, rediscovered. And like so many modern rarities before it, it won't be long before it steps into the spotlight. And even as more people begin to realize what this coin represents, Even as the story of the 2018 penny begins to unfold across social media, coin shows, and private collections, it's important to understand that we're still in a unique window of time. A window where the coin is still accessible, still found in the wild, still hiding in bank rolls and pocket change. This won't last. It never does. History shows us that every modern coin with future value goes through a stage like this, one where it's everywhere, and then one day, it isn't. One day, people stop seeing them. Circulation wears them down. Coin counting machines gobble them up. People toss them in jars, never to be seen again. But right now, at this very moment, the 2018 Lincoln cent is still within reach. The chance to find an error, a rare variety, a high MS grade, or even a top pop condition penny is still real. But that's changing. Each year, the window narrows. Collectors get smarter. The available supply gets smaller. And the demand grows, not just from US collectors, but globally. You see, US coins are some of the most widely collected in the world. They're respected for their consistency, historical importance, and worldwide recognition. That global interest means that even pennies can command international bids at auction. And coins like the 2018 cent, which represent the end of an era, could become more desirable across borders in ways we're only beginning to see. Now think about how the 2018 penny ties into the broader US mint narrative. By 2018, the mint had already been exploring shifts in materials, changes in commemorative design policy, and preparing for new reverse designs in upcoming years. The Lincoln Shield reverse, which debuted in 2010, was always meant to be symbolic, a nod to unity, strength, and history. But in 2018, that design was starting to feel familiar, even routine. And when designs become routine, errors become easier to overlook. Workers get used to the design specs. Machines operate on assumption. And that's where anomalies begin to slip through. That's how varieties are born, not from chaos, but from familiarity. It's also important to understand the psychology of the collector. When people pursue coins, they're not just chasing money. They're chasing patterns. They're searching for connections. A 2018 penny might be meaningless to one person and priceless to another because it completes a timeline. A registry set. A birth year collection. Or maybe it represents the year someone's child was born. Or the last year their grandfather collected coins. Or the year they graduated. Memory attaches itself to objects. And coins, being small, durable, and symbolic, become vessels for those memories. That emotional attachment drives value just as much as scarcity. But let's come back to the coin itself, its physical presence, its weight, its dimensions. The 2018 penny is technically a clad coin, composed of a 97.5% zinc core with a 2.5% copper plating. Its diameter is 19.05 millimeters. Its weight is approximately 2.5 grams. But these technical specs can vary slightly, and when they do, that variance matters. A coin struck on a slightly lighter or heavier planchet might have slipped through quality control. A 2018 cent weighing significantly less than expected might be a candidate for an off-metal error. That's why many collectors use precision digital scales to sort coins by weight. Deviations can reveal amazing discoveries, foreign planchets, experimental strikes, or composition errors. And what about visual oddities? There are countless examples of coins with minor but noticeable anomalies. A ghostly doubling on Lincoln's profile. A faint repunched mint mark. A blurry date. Missing clad layers. Off-center strikes. Rim cuts. Floating roofs on the Lincoln Memorial design of earlier years have analogs in the 2018 Shield reverse, where parts of the scroll or the shield lines appear broken or ghosted. All these details are part of what makes hunting 2018 cents so compelling. It's not just about one big error, it's about the cumulative effect of many small possibilities. Every coin is a clue. Every roll is a treasure hunt. And while some people will dismiss modern coins as too recent to matter, that logic has always proven wrong over time. The 1955 double die cent was once dismissed. So was the 1969 S. So was the 1992 close AM. In fact, the close AM and wide AM varieties of the Lincoln cent are a perfect case study. At first glance, the difference is microscopic. A tiny gap, or lack thereof, between the A and M in America. But that minor spacing issue has created some of the most sought-after modern cents in the hobby. The same principle applies to the 2018 cent. What you think is a normal coin might, under magnification, reveal a spacing error, a die scratch, or a doubling that transforms it into a 1 in a million piece. This is why tools matter. Every serious coin hunter needs the right magnifier, a solid light source, a good digital scale, and access to updated error guides. But beyond the tools, you need the mindset. The patience to look closely. The curiosity to research what you don't recognize. And the willingness to ask questions, to go into forums, watch videos, and compare your finds with known examples. Because knowledge is the multiplier. The more you know, the better your chances of spotting something that others overlook. And with the 2018 cent, there is so much that remains unexplored, uncatalogued, and undocumented. And let's not forget market dynamics. Coin value isn't static, it's alive. Influenced by auction results, grading trends, social media buzz, and the broader economy. A 2018 cent with a dramatic off-center strike might be worth $50 today and $500 next year if similar examples dry up. A doubled die that's newly discovered can start with one sale at $100 and quickly climb to four figures if demand explodes. The key is to understand that you're not just buying or selling a coin, you're entering a live marketplace. And in that marketplace, the 2018 cent is starting to gain a reputation. Slowly, but surely, even grading services are starting to take more interest. Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS), Numismatic Guarantee Company (NGC), and Anax have all graded 2018 cents at various levels. And while Mint State 67 is relatively achievable, MS 68 and higher remain elusive. These top-grade coins become top pop coins, meaning they're the highest graded examples known to exist. And once a coin becomes top pop, its market value can skyrocket. Registry collectors, who compete to have the finest examples of each date, will often pay substantial premiums for coins that give them a top slot. This creates a niche market where perfection isn't just appreciated, it's rewarded. And then there's the unknown. What happens if a 2018 cent is discovered with a previously undocumented major doubled die? One that's dramatic and visible to the naked eye? One that's consistent across hundreds of coins from a particular die pair? That would instantly change the conversation. That coin would be featured in price guides, in videos, in auction catalogs. And it would push every related 2018 cent higher in value due to increased interest. This kind of discovery could happen tomorrow. It could happen next year. Or it could be waiting in someone's change jar right now. That's what makes this so exciting. It's not speculation, it's history unfolding. And you can be part of it. Whether you're searching coin rolls, bidding at auctions, or simply setting aside your cleanest finds, every action you take today shapes the future of this coin. And one day, when the 2018 penny is fully appreciated for what it is, a transitional design, a sleeper rarity, a cornerstone of early 21st century numismatics, you'll be able to look back and know you were there. You saw it coming. And yet, despite all the chatter, all the research, all the auction records and speculative grading, there remains one fundamental truth about the 2018 penny that still escapes most people. Its story is still being written. This isn't a relic like the 1909 SVDB or a Civil War-era token encased in history. No, the 2018 Lincoln cent is something even rarer in numismatics, an unfolding legend. A coin that exists both in the present and in the future. One foot in today's circulation, the other in tomorrow's auction catalog. People underestimate the power of modernity. They think because a coin is recent, it can't possibly be valuable. That's a mistake that history punishes, again and again. If you look back, every major coin that now fetches 6 or 7 figures had a moment like this, when it was new, dismissed, overlooked. And then, slowly, people began to wake up. The same is happening with the 2018 penny. Not just because of one dramatic error or because of some once-in-a-generation misstrike. No, it's because all the conditions for value are already present. And the people paying attention now are the ones who will benefit the most later. Let's talk about emotional symbolism for a moment. A coin is not just a stamped piece of metal. It's a story. The 2018 Lincoln cent represents the resilience of the American penny in the face of constant calls for its removal. By 2018, countless think pieces, financial reports, and even bills in Congress had proposed eliminating the cent altogether. It costs more to make than it's worth. It slows down commerce. It's obsolete, they said. And yet, the U.S. Mint continued. The cent endured. 2018 marks one of the final years where the Lincoln Shield reverse design remained untouched. It's a year that straddles transition and tradition. And if we consider 2018 within the broader cultural context, even more meaning emerges. It was a year of disruption. Politically, socially, economically, 2018 was marked by shifts. Cryptocurrencies surged and fell. Stock markets trembled. New technology reshaped communication. And through it all, the humble penny persisted, almost defiantly. This tiny artifact, smaller than a thumbnail, became a constant in a chaotic world. And years from now, that consistency will give it weight. Because collectors don't just chase rarity, they chase symbolism. Now, consider this: at least 24 unique error types have already been documented for the 2018 penny. These range from minor planchet flaws to dramatic die clashes and visible doubling. But there's more. Collectors have reported ghost images, die chips in Lincoln's hair, retained cut breaks near the rim, and unusual copper toning. These aren't isolated cases. They suggest that certain die pairs used in 2018 were more prone to fatigue, possibly due to aggressive production targets or less frequent maintenance. That increases the likelihood of varieties still waiting to be discovered, and increases the desirability of known errors already certified. The coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint carry a subtle distinction: no mint mark. To the average person, this makes them seem plain. But to the seasoned collector, that absence becomes a point of focus. It means the coin must be closely inspected for other clues: surface quality, luster, strike sharpness, and any anomalies that might indicate it came from an early die state or from a minting anomaly. Conversely, the Denver issues, marked with a D, offer their own intrigue. Denver generally has tighter die control, but when something does slip through, it tends to be more dramatic. This polarity between mints adds yet another layer to collecting 2018 cents. There's even an emerging market for toned 2018 cents, coins that, through exposure to specific environments, have developed beautiful natural colorations. These iridescent coins, showing shades of violet, gold, cobalt, or emerald, are often prized not just for their visual beauty but for their uniqueness. No two-toned coins look alike. Toning on zinc or pennies, especially from this era, is harder to achieve naturally without corrosion, making the few attractive examples even more desirable. Already, online auctions have seen toned 2018 cents reach prices 100x their face value or more. Of course, not every coin will become a 5 or 6 figure asset. That's not the point. What matters is the spectrum. Some 2018 cents are worth 1 cent. Others are worth hundreds. A few are worth thousands. The key is knowing which is which. And that's what this entire journey is about: turning the ordinary into the extraordinary through attention, skill, and knowledge. Because the value is there. It's hidden, but it's real. And it's only getting stronger as time passes. Let's talk about markets. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections have all seen significant activity in modern coins recently. Demand is growing for top pop MS68 and MS69 examples of coins minted after 2000. Why? Because newer collectors, many from the digital generation, are entering the market. They're not necessarily interested in 18th century copper or colonial issues. They want coins they can relate to. Coins from their own lifetime. And the 2018 penny, being a modern but transitional piece, sits right at the heart of that demand curve. It's new enough to feel accessible, but old enough to feel historical. And then there's the mystery of the unknown die pairs, specific dies used to strike coins that were worn, cracked, or modified in subtle ways. Collectors hunt these like cryptozoologists hunt mythical creatures. They're looking for markers, a scratch here, a tiny notch there, a misplaced date digit. These small details define die variety, coins, and once a new die variety is confirmed, it becomes part of the permanent record. It gets cataloged in the cherry picker's guide, added to grading company lists, and instantly becomes a target for serious collectors. The 2018 cent is teeming with potential die varieties yet to be found. People often ask, if there's so many of these coins, how can any be rare? It's a valid question, but also a misleading one. Rarity in numismatics isn't just about how many coins were made. It's about how many survive in a particular condition, with a particular feature, and with authenticated provenance. Out of the billions of 2018 pennies struck, how many are in flawless MS-69 condition? Almost none. How many show major doubling? A tiny handful. How many are struck 10 to 20% off-center with full dates visible? Almost zero. These combinations of condition and error create micro-rarities inside a massive population, and then there's the social aspect. Collectors form communities, online and offline, to compare finds, trade coins, and build knowledge. Discord servers, Facebook groups, Instagram hashtags, eBay listings, all of these are part of a decentralized network of real-time numismatic discovery. A single post showing a weird-looking 2018 cent can lead to crowdsourced research, real-time consensus, and eventually formal recognition by grading companies. In this way, the 2018 cent isn't just a coin, it's a communal project. It's a living artifact of a hobby in transition, just like the coin itself is from an era in transition. And with that, we come full circle. A coin that was made to symbolize unity is now uniting collectors in its mystery, its beauty, its errors, its possibilities. The 2018 penny is no longer just currency. It's conversation. It's community. It's potential waiting to be discovered by those who care enough to look.